quickly entering the car. Hold them above your head while walking through the metal detector. Don't forget to collect your items once you... And enjoy your visit.
On your device all the way up, it will make it easier to scan that ticket on the first try. And if you have a paper ticket, hand one out to me.
Immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
I'm just going to remind everybody to please remain seated and hold on tight to those belongings because things can get bumpy on Skull Island. This is also a good time to turn off the flash on your cell phones and cameras so that you don't blind your neighbor. That jump was unexpected. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Amity Island.
Classic films. They're just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, flathead, bolts, it's one of the great icons of the world.
That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by these movies.
Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
We do love them. I love them. My favorite monster movie character is Frankenstein's monster because he was so misunderstood. All he wanted was a hug and some good parents. None of that would have happened, but he didn't get any of that. He only got his screams. And I felt so bad for him when I watched it as a child. I just felt really bad for that flat-headed green guy. Now we are going to take you on to another set that we reuse over and over again. This is Soundstage 50 right here, and it is an evergreen set, which means that it is always set up exactly the same. This set does not change, and it is set up to look like a BART station in San Francisco. Now this was used in an episode of Bones, starring David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel, and it was also used in Beverly Hills Cop 3, starring Eddie Murphy. Now as you look around, you'll notice a lot of attention to detail here, from the posters, to the newspaper stands, to the turnstiles. How exciting! Yippee-ki-yay. Ooh, fire. Alrighty, well, it looks like the worst is over. That's, no, I guess it's, there's water. I do love a good earthquake. They really wake you up. You know, the only thing that I love more than an earthquake are sharks. And I'll tell you why. I think they're misunderstood creatures. You know, they're always smiling when I see them, which I think means they're actually very friendly. It's a lot like Frankenstein's monster. I think they're misunderstood. They could probably just use a hug and some good parenting and everything would be okay, which is why I brought you to my favorite part of our backlot. It's Amity Island, and it's my favorite part because they have sharks here, and look at that. We have one out there. Isn't it beautiful? That is a magnificent creature. And there is a diver in the water. He's going to get to meet the shark up close and personal. And look how excited he is. He is literally screaming with excitement, and I don't blame him. Oh no. I hope the shark's okay. All right, we're gonna pull forward while we make sure everything's all right out there. I will be so sad if that shark was hurt. How exciting. The shark's okay, everyone. The shark's okay. Oh, that is such a relief to me. I can't even tell you. I was really worried about him. Did you see how he was smiling at everyone as if to say, hey, that's why I love them so much. Noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects. Excuse me, I had to swallow in the middle of my statement. That's so weird. Fire effects and many water effects. So, keep your cell phones and cameras ready just for the photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet, and hold on tight so they don't go overboard. We don't want to lose a phone, it's always sad. And finally, please do not use selfie sticks on board the tram. Now, you've probably got a view into our theme park as we pass by right on our right-hand side. That was our lower lawn out there. It's looking good in the distance. We also have some construction in our lower lot right now, and that is due to our Super Nintendo World coming in early 2023. We're pretty excited about that. You can check out our social media and website for details. Now, as we make our way continuously down this timeline, on our right-hand side, that is a real working fire station, not a movie set. We also have our own police services, our own medical facilities, our own zip code, a dinosaur that hangs out by a dumpster over there. We're a weird little city, but we are a city that is entirely dedicated to the art of film and television production. That was Carl Laemmle's dream when he started this studio back in 1912, even before television was invented. So he was a visionary, really, if you think about it. Now, our studio is divided into two parts. There's a front lot and a back lot. We're going to take you into the front lot first, which is where we have the majority of our 28 sound stages. And if you look on our left-hand side, here at the bottom of the hill is Soundstage 12. This is our largest and most historic soundstage, and it has held some huge sets over the years. Here are some examples. That gentleman on our right-hand side is probably the nicest person in our entire production studio. We love him. Now, if you look to our left, right here, you will see Soundstage 11, 10, and 9. These were recently home to Bel Air, which is a dramatic reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And as you see, the elephant doors are right here, and they're open, which means they're transitioning. They're setting things up or breaking things down, making way for a new episode, a new series, even a new movie to move in there. Anytime we're not actively filming, we're in a state of transition. So these sound stages right here, 8 and 7, these were recently home to the second season of the HBO Max show Hacks, starring Emmy Award-winning actress Jean Smart and our co-star Hannah Einbinder. And Jean Smart is actually nominated for another Emmy this year. So is Hannah Einbinder, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, as we turn this corner, you're going to see Soundstage 14 off on our left-hand side. You're also going to see some trucks and trailers in front of it. Now, the trailers are makeup, wardrobe, and dressing room trailers for the stars. Whenever there are active movie sets, we have to have a place to put the actors, and so trailers. They're nice and portable. We can take them wherever we're filming. They're nice and handy that way. Now, beyond these trailers, we have Soundstage 14, which was home to some big movies over the years. Inception filmed inside of Soundstage 14. Apollo 13 had Mission Control inside of Soundstage 14. And Jurassic Park filmed some key scenes in there. Now, right next to Soundstage 14 is our Abbott and Costello parking garage. How exciting. Isn't parking exciting? Actually, that parking garage was also used in Jurassic Park. There's a scene where the mobile lab dangles off the top of a cliff, and actress Julianne Moore falls through the window of the mobile lab. That was actually on top of our parking garage, and it looks just like this. I'll tell you what, that parking garage is terrifying right there, just terrifying. Now, on our right-hand side right here, we have some sound stages. A sound stage is where about 80 to 90% of a production takes place because it gives us a lot of control over the environment. Now these walls are about 4 times thicker than the walls in your house, which is handy for keeping out outside noise like the sound of my voice. They might not want it in their production, so these walls will help keep the sound of my voice out. Now if you look to our left-hand side, you will see Ted the bear drinking out of a dirty glass. Now, he also has his own series. We're filming season 1 of Ted. It's a prequel to the movie, so I'm going to cut him a little slack right here. He's busy. He doesn't have time to do his dishes. He's a working bear. Now, he is guarding our production bungalows right here. These little buildings on our left. This is where... Now, if there was no sunshine, we would shine a light through it because that makes it show up better on camera. Now, this area was used in Lady Gaga's Judas video. It was used in the film Big Fat Liar, as well as the films Nacho Libre and the Three Amigos. It's a popular area. And that beautiful Hollywood rain is so handy because we can tell it when to stop. If you don't tell rain to stop, it causes problems like mudslides and flooding and things, and we don't like to deal with any of that. What is that noise? Oh, my bad. Everybody hold on tight. We've got a little mudslide flooding thing happening here. Guard your churros. It's gonna get wet. Oh. Wow. So intense. And also refreshing. I'm not gonna lie, that felt pretty good. Now you can see what that looked like on your screen in Big Fat Liar. Paul Giamatti did use a stunt double for that scene, but you know who did not use a stunt double? Lady Gaga. She was out there in that water in heels. So if you got splashed with any of that water today, just know that you were splashed with the same water that Lady Gaga was in, which means you're like this. I think you should call her. She probably misses you. Now, we've just arrived in 6 Points, which is where we made our westerns in the early days of our movie studio. This was also used more recently in Quentin Tarantino's film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it was used even more recently than that in the series Angeline, which airs on Peacock Streaming. That stars Emmy Rossum and Martin Freeman. Now, if you look around, you might notice that the doorways here are not all one size. Because sometimes when you're making a Western, your larger-than-life Western hero is not actually larger than life. Now, John Wayne was 6'4", but Kirk Douglas was not. So we put Kirk Douglas next to a very small door, and he instantly looks taller. It's like magic, which is why I only use small doors in my house, because it makes me look large and impressive. And that's how I like to look. Now, we're about halfway through our studio tour, so I just want to remind everybody to please remain seated. And if you have an emergency like a dropped phone or you need to use the restroom, just pull that red cord and I'll be back to assist you. Now, as we make our way out of 6 Points, which by the way is named after the 6 streets that converge here, we're going to look to our left, and across the water right here, you will see some of our newer sound stages. Now, soundstage 24 in the corner is where they filmed The Voice. It was also home to the American Song Contest. Soundstage 26 was where Jordan Peele filmed interior scenes for his movie Us, as well as his latest movie Nope. In front of those sound stages is our Park Lake area, which was used in our 1954 3D monster movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was the Amazon out there. So from the 20s to the 50s, monster movies were our signature film. All of the movie studios had a signature film, and ours were monster movies. Now, why did we all need a signature film? Because we were broke. That's why. These were lean times financially for everybody in the world, and even movie studios needed to save a little bit of money. So we did that by reusing the same sets over and over again, which is why we had the same type of movie that we made over and over again. Now, these are the sets that we reused. They're called Little Europe because they can look like any European country simply by changing the language on the signs. In fact, it looks a little bit like The Afterlife because it's also where we filmed The Good Place for its 4-year run.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this.
You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I
help you?
What is the bad place like?
Featured as Genovia in Princess Diaries 2. It's where they filmed parts of Cinderella starring Brandy and Whitney Houston. The Mysterious Benedict Society was here just a few weeks ago. Buffy the Vampire Slayer has been there. Even the Muppets graced our Little Europe area. But it is best known for our classic monster movies.
When we think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
the Hunchback of
His favorite Transformers in the back. We also have Marion Crane's car from Psycho sitting right next to the Mystery Machine. And you know what is a mystery? What happened to Marion Crane? She went missing. She made some questionable life choices, and then she stopped off at this cute little motel right here. It's called the Bates Motel. It's got a real cute retro vibe. I love this motel. Now don't check out the Yelp reviews, they're misleading. Just because one or two people go missing does not mean it's a bad place to stay. It's really cute. As a matter of fact, I recommend room number 1. Take a nice long hot shower. You'll be super relaxed. I dare you to find a cleaner shower anywhere in the world. Norman Bates is always bleaching those showers. He is dedicated. Oh my goodness. That is a beautiful house right there. That's the Psycho house where Norman lives with his mother. Such a lovely woman. Feel free to stop by anytime. Now we've arrived in the center of a tragedy here. We have Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds crash site. This is a colossal practical set. And here to talk about it is the set designer, Rick Carter.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steve had.
When I sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
That is a real airplane, a real Boeing 747, although Boeing did take their name off of the plane because they didn't want to be associated with a plane crash. I don't blame them. They bought that airplane at an airplane graveyard. Those things do exist. Even decommissioned airplanes need a place to go rest their final days. But they shipped it here in 4 pieces, and they took the top of the airplane off to get it under freeway overpasses on the way out. But it's a cool effect. It looks like the aliens did that. Now you can tell it's an older plane because there are actually ashtrays in the armrests of that airplane, which they don't have in planes anymore. Now Steven Spielberg designed this whole, actually Rick Carter, his set designer, designed this whole beautiful practical set, but Steven Spielberg asked for it for the younger actors in the scene. It's a very generous thing to do for your actors because everything here is real. It gives the actors something to go off of, which is a very generous thing. Nowadays, a lot of movies use digital effects, which are created with computer after filming has stopped, so the actors have to pretend that there's something happening around them. But this is something real for them to look at. It is beautiful, and we don't complain because we have it to show you all. And it is a beautiful thing. Now, speaking of practical sets, we're very excited because we have a new practical set to show you. Now, this latest one is from Jordan Peele's latest movie, Nope, which just came out. That movie stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun. This is one of the actual sets from the movie. They filmed in the Santa Clarita Valley and then reconstructed this set right here. This is Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Well, it's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret, smack dab in the center of a UFO hotspot.
Now, we also have, if you're a wizard who loves muggles, we have the Ford Anglia from the Harry Potter films, fresh from the Whomping Willow. And we have the Jeep and the gyrosphere from Jurassic World. Now notice that the gyrosphere has no glass bubble around it. That is because glass is a reflective surface, and if we put glass around the gyrosphere, you would have seen the film crews standing around. They would have been reflected in the glass, and you might have paid more attention to them than the dinosaurs, which makes the dinosaurs feel bad. So we add the glass in post-production, which is when we add glass, extra dinosaurs, you know, whatever we need. Now, we're also passing by a Bradley fighting vehicle, that tank from the Transformer movies. Looks very tough, right? That's plywood and PVC pipe. So not great for battle, wouldn't last very long in a war, but it is very lightweight, so it's... Well, that's good advice. I think it's time for us to get out. Remember when aliens were small and cute, you could dress them up like dolls, they ate Reese's Pieces? Times have changed. Aliens have gotten tougher. And we've been through so much together. We've had shark attacks, dinosaur attacks, natural disasters, weird motels, alien abductions. What more could there be? Well, I'll tell you, we have an undercover witness on board our tram, and we're going to hide out in Sullivan's garage to keep them safe. This is so exciting. I just love excitement and crime and Dominic Toretto. This is where Dominic Toretto's crew hangs out. They've agreed to keep us all safe, so we're going to meet up with Roman Pearson here. He's going to let us know what we can do to keep safe.
My name is Roman Pierce.
Hey, Roman.
Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while, so we brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
All right, everyone. I do take this very seriously, but I also hear a party inside, which is exciting. I love a good party. I especially love a party with cake. So let's hope that there's cake here, because that would be really tasty. You're right about it. Writers and directors and producers get together to develop ideas, work on scripts. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has his $7 Productions in our bungalows. They're working on Young Rock. We also have Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions in our bungalows. They just brought us Nope, as well as Us and Get Out. We have Elizabeth Banks Brownstone Productions in our bungalows. They brought us Pitch Perfect 2. And back in the day, there was another famous director with a bungalow here. His name was Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. His silhouette is still on the side of that bungalow, even though he is no longer there, because he brought us so many classic thrillers: Psycho, Vertigo, Rear Window, The Birds, just to name a few, so many others. And he taught us many important lessons along the way. For instance, it was Alfred Hitchcock who taught us that we should not smoke while standing in a puddle of gasoline. That's an important lesson. He also taught us that showers are scary and dangerous and should be avoided, which is why I take baths. And he taught us that it's okay to spy on your neighbor if they're a homicidal maniac, and that lesson has probably saved my life. Thank you, Alfred Hitchcock. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, we are at the edge of our Metropolitan sets right here. On our left, you're going to get a glimpse down into New York Street, which is where Quantum Leap is prepping to film. We also have Bel Air prepping to film in there. Quantum Leap is a continuation of the 90s show. The original starred Scott Bakula. This new version stars Raymond Lee. Now, this is a 4-acre section of our back lot, and our Metropolitan sets have their own financial district. They have their own Broadway theaters. They even have their own Macy's in there because we wanted Jimmy Fallon to feel right at home.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
That is true. Now, if you look off to to the right, you're going to see, well, you're going to see first a lot of people working, but beyond them is our Courthouse Square area, clear down at the end there. That is where they filmed Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2. That was the site of the clock tower. It was also used more recently for Rutherford Falls, one of our Peacock streaming shows, which stars Ed Helms and Janice Meeting. They've used that for a lot of movies over the years, like Gremlins, Saving Mr. Banks. It is a very flexible, small town area. Now, if you look off to your right down this street right here, you're going to see Brownstone Street, which you might recognize from Home Alone 2. Kevin McAllister hung out there. It was also used as Jim Carrey's home in Bruce Almighty, and it is where Billie Eilish filmed her Amazon Prime Day special in 2021. They made it look like the streets of Paris. It's a beautiful little area. Now, those buildings are mostly facades, which means it's just the front of a building. Facade means false front. So we just build the outside, what the camera will see from the street level, and then we head on over to the sound stages if we need to film interior scenes. Now here you're going to get a glimpse into our New York Street right here on our right. Our New York Street has had two different Spider-Man slinging webs down it. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire both worked on New York Street. Captain America was there for Captain America's first Avenger. It was used as an area where he chased a bad guy right down the center of New York Street. Also, Brooklyn Nine-Nine had their series finale on New York Street. They had a character jump off the top of one of these buildings onto an armored vehicle. Even Dirty Harry has felt lucky on New York Street. Now, it hasn't just been New York. It's also been used in the American Ninja Warrior contest. They had their big obstacle course built down the center of New York Street. They made it look like London for Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. They had a big car chase right down the center of New York Street. It is a gorgeous concrete jungle, but it's time to take you out of this jungle and into a real jungle. In fact, we're going to talk to award-winning director Peter Jackson right here.